And look, when it comes to my people, it's hard for me to let things go. I don't care if you're related to me. I don't care if you're not related to me. And now when it comes to this Caucasian hater, we're not going to call him Dylan Black. We're going to call him B-Rad from Malibu's Most Wanted because he thinks he's a gangster. He thinks he's black. And for Thanksgiving, they'll be sitting at the table eating that bland ass Thanksgiving food, that dry ass turkey, while Felita's family is mourning, while Felita's family is spending their first Thanksgiving without their daughter, their first Thanksgiving without their cousin, their first Thanksgiving without their friend. So it's hard for me to not talk about this. And it may take a while. It may be hard, but the ancestors don't sleep. And sometimes they live inside of us to give us the energy to expose this shit. And I want to say shout out to Miss Lakedra. She sent me this letter through Instagram and we've been talking back and forth. She's the family investigator. And I just love that she hasn't gave up. I love that she's still applying pressure. And look, I did a video about this already, but now I have an update. And like I said, this happened August 31st of this year. And this dude, this is what he did. After he shot her, he drove to the hospital to lie to the cops. And he told the cops he wasn't there. Then the cops called him on his lie. He said, oh, I was there, but I was just holding the gun for a friend. But this letter, we go break this letter down because I want to make all this make sense to y'all. And like I said, to these people, you have to keep applying pressure. They want us to stop talking about it. They want people to just move on. But how can you move on and you just lost a daughter? How can you move on and you just lost a friend? How can you move on and you think you're going to unalive a black young woman and we go let it slide? We can't. Amarillo PD covers up the murder of Dallas native Felita Bailey. The 25-year-old victim's family has been denied their rights. Lead investigator is close friend of the murderer's family. A coalition of Dallas-based community organizations have joined in the fight with Felita Bailey's family to call out the corrupt cover-up at play by Amarillo PD and to bring justice for her murder. So we already learned that the investigator on the case is close friends with the family. And then I learned that Amarillo has a history of abusing black people. And not just that history, they also have a history of KKK rallies downtown. And the police led them. The sheriff led them downtown, protected them so they could give their speech. So when I saw all that, it just told me everything I have to know. And y'all know I have to do the race demographics. And this is what I saw. 72.5% white. 7.1% black. That told me everything. This is a sundown town. And when I say sundown, sundown means a lot of your black people just gonna let things slide. You're gonna have a handful that's gonna say something, but for the most part, they're not gonna say anything because they know the repercussions. They know what the police can do to them. And to the black people in Amarillo who don't mind speaking up, shout out to y'all, man, because I know this has been going on for a long time. But now, like I say, times have changed. We have the internet now. People not scared to speak up for the most part. On August 31st, 2024, Felita Bailey attended a house party with her cousin at 1314 South Avondale Street, Amarillo, Texas, 79106. While inside the house, witnesses account Latar Johnson and Dylan Black sexually harassing Felita. Between 3 a.m. to 3:20 a.m., Felita and her family member attempted to leave the party. As the two made it to the front door, a gang of men, it was 40 of them, began to violently attack them. A video caught of the incident shows multiple men violently beating both Felita and her family member. The following men were identified in the video perpetrating the assault: Dylan Black, Latoya Johnson, Malachi Johnson, and Josiah Westmoreland. So in the article that I read, it said 40 men showed up to the house party uninvited. So Dylan Black, aka B-Rad, he showed up to the party and thinking that he was going to get some. But Felita turned him down. And I see why she turned him down. Bro, you a Caucasian dude. You're 5'7", 135 pounds. So you have this short Caucasian complex where you think, oh, if you can't have it, you have to unalive her. Probably was smaller than her because you built like a 15-year-old. And then you want to pull this coward move. Felita broke free of the mob and ran out the front door. As she ran for safety, Dylan Black, aka B-Rad, shot her in the back 2 to 3 times. She was driven 6 minutes to Northwest Texas Hospital by her cousins and arrived at the emergency room at about 3:26 a.m. Upon arrival, she was reported unconscious but breathing. Per the hospital record, Felita was deceased by 3:53 a.m. The other victim, her family members, was left hospitalized following the attack, suffering serious head trauma and injuries in his ribs. So like I was telling y'all earlier, this wannabe gangster, after he shot her, he followed the ambulance, went to the hospital, and he hurried up and told the police, oh, I wasn't there. And police showed him video that he was there. Then he said, okay, I was there, but I was just holding the gun for my friend. So like I tell y'all, in these sundown towns, everybody know everybody. All these people have connections to each other. So that same cop he was talking to, he probably know. That same cop probably have ties to his family, and they break bread together. They make money together under the table. Felita's body was released to Schaefer Mortuary without the family's knowledge. Hospital documents were falsified to show that she was identified by next of kin before authorities even notified Felita's grandmother of her death. Felita's mother was unable to identify her body until 5 days after her murder. Now, y'all remember when I told y'all, just like the TV show, First 48, those first 48 hours are so important if you're trying to solve a case. Those first 48 hours are so important when you're trying to figure out everything and put the pieces together. Those first 48 hours are so important when you look at the body and you're trying to see, what was done to the body. And in all of my videos, I always tell y'all, all these people are on the same team. The doctors, the hospitals, the funeral homes, the coroner, the police, the DA, the investigator. And these people know that the first 48 hours, if you can hold the body, if you can hide the body from the family after those 2 days, after those 48 hours, you good. You can just show the family the body, and it's going to be hard, especially when you don't have the resources, especially when you don't have the money to do the real investigation. They know this. They do it all the time. Every case I talked about on YouTube, just notice they all have the same trend. They always hold the body longer than 48 hours, and the family cannot see it. The family cannot view the body. They all do it. And then you had the hospital pronounce her dead, and they falsified the information, falsified the signature, and sent her to the mortuary. Like, they messed up everything, but they do it on purpose because I told you, everybody is on the same team. They all against us. B. Rad from Malibu's Most Wanted was arrested and charged with the murder of Felita Bailey. Police found the clothes he was wearing in the video and the gun used to unalive Felita. By September 6th, he was released from Powder County Jail and his charges were dropped. The lead investigator of the case, Sergeant Adrian Hernandez, has disclosed a close connection with the family of Dylan Black, B. Rad. Amarillo PD refuses to share any information regarding the investigation with Felita's family and withholding her personal items. And look, if you go back and watch that last video, without knowing this information, I said that. I said that they had a relationship, that sergeant and the investigator had a relationship with his family. Because as soon as he got out of jail, the sergeant, one of the cops, took him home. They gave him a personal ride home to his mom. And like I say, when you're dealing with Texas, you got to know Texas is its own world. Just like Louisiana, just like Florida, it's its own world. They follow their own rules. So these people have connections through all kind of different businesses. They have connections. So they tell our people to snitch. They tell our people to tell, oh, just confess it. But when they do things, they don't do that. They don't confess anything. And then you got the Hispanics. They think they're white. And I'm sitting back thinking, like, how can you be charged for murder? You charged for murder, and 5 days later, the case is dropped. And then I got this information. Meredith Pinkham, she's the DA on the case who actually dropped the case. And she told Felita's mom, yeah, I dropped the case, so what? Like I told you, in these sundown towns, they make up their own rules. So in my opinion, the only way to get these people is to keep applying pressure, keep talking about it, keep putting out the truth, because they want these type of things to go away. They don't want to see their names in these topics, especially around the holidays. So you got to keep applying pressure. And I might be wrong for doing this video, but it is what it is, because Felita's mom would never get a good night rest. She will never be the same again. Her family will never be the same again. And that girl was young. And I heard she died like a month before her birthday. Her birthday is October 26th, and she passed away like September 1st. So I want y'all to know, if y'all ever go through something like this, tell your family member to look up the race demo. Wherever they going, just look it up. If you going to a party in this town, this part of the city, look it up. It was 72% white people and 7% black people. So you gotta think about it. It probably was one or two black people at the party. So when it all boils down, everybody's gonna stick with their team. They not gonna say nothing. Now it's hard to get people to come up and say anything. Even with video, they have video of what happened and they still drop the case. And so look, I'm gonna say this. If you was at that party and you saw what happened, say something, because how can you go through life knowing what happened and you let it slide? That means you are a coward also. How can you look yourself in the mirror? And I'm gonna say this to Dylan Black, aka B Rad. You wanna be a gangster so bad. You ain't nothing but a Caucasian coward. I'm out.